Oh, hi! Weekend! We're gonna be doing a different kind of a twofer this time because we're gonna be doing a music twofer. Now, last week we talked about some developments with ILLIT, and guess what? There's additional stuff now with ILLIT, and since I love ILLIT, I'm gonna be talking about ILLIT. So, last week we talked about some of their developments with regards to their upcoming comeback, which is going to be on June, middle of June, and recently, Hybe has since released um, a medley, a highlight medley of what, or I guess a little bit of a teaser of what they'll be having in their third mini album. So. If you remember, they'll be having a mini album. They're going to be having their comeback in June. I believe it's June 16, right? So now I guess promotions is now really starting. Like gonna go full steam. Now what they just released recently is their highlight medley. Now what's a highlight medley? Um, it's snippets from their song, from the different songs in the album, and part of it is also a little bit of a video. For their first comeback, which is I Like You, they did was a concept video. And it talked about what are their wishes, with a little bit of like putting them on another and in a different world, right? Like Mocha was first imagine daydreaming about something, and then she moved, she became a giant, right? But this time for this highlight medley, it's a little bit different. Now, they've already released the title for their upcoming mini album, which is called Bomb. All right, so also they have also released some visuals on it and what it will be look like. It's pretty simple. It's just basically Bomb in the album and having different colors. So I'm not sure if they're going something a little simpler, but the songs, for at least on the highlight medley, it's a little. It kind of harkens. No, I was initially thinking it's like moving back to their old to their first EP, which is Super Real Me, because it has that same dreamy quality. Now, I guess this is what we're talking about. ILLIT having still really building their own sound, but I guess it's slowly developing. At this rate, it's slowly developing because they did something very dreamy with Super Real Me. Then they did something pretty energetic and pretty fast paced with I Like You. But this time, coming in with Bomb, it seems like they're trying to put those two together. It's like they're really trying to mold their own sound because I do find a little bit of references from those two albums. Now, Bomb will have 5 tracks. So it's similar to I Like You having 5 tracks. So the title, they've already released the titles. So there's Little Monsters, there's Jellius, there's Oops, there's Do the Dance, and there's one which has a Korean song. A Korean, no, Korean title. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Korean. So, now they did a little bit of teasing on that. Actually, for the highlight medley, they did tease for the four songs, and then they did one for a separate one for Do the Dance. Okay, so let's start first with Little Monsters. I found it very techno, very 90s techno. I'm an old guy. So basically, my childhood was in the 80s, and my teeny weird face was in the 90s. So it sounded very 90s techno. Very fast. It's not 80s. Definitely not 80s. It's very 90s in the sense that it is fast, it is techno, it is synthy, but not synthy campy style. It's more like a synthy. I was like thinking technotronic, something similar to that. But it's basically in that area, or something like when they were doing like Funk Phenomenon. That song, it's similar to something very. It reminded me of that. I don't know why. For Jelius, it is a fast-paced. I really find it very fast. It's it sounded very similar to songs for I Like You. I did find it a bit. It's but I'm not sure how can I say put it, but Jelius made me remind initially immediately had me at I Like You. Very similar to If You Know You Know, I Like You. It got me that vibe. That's why I was seeing it. It's trying to meld into. They're trying to put the two albums and trying to put it together for the third one. The third song, sorry, Oops, sounded very funky, very disco, very retro. Actually, even the Jelios sounded retro, sounded retro electronic. While Oops sounded very funky, you can actually it'll actually sound good in the band and in the band setup. Oops would sound really good in the band setup. Very disco, very funky. Then we have the Korean song, which I don't know. The Korean titled song sounded very Japanese indie. If you don't know what I mean, well, basically, for it doesn't sound like a K-pop song at all. It reminded me very indie, very like these Japanese bands. I'm but definitely it sounded very indie. If you, I'm not sure if you know what I mean, but if you listen to Japanese female-led bands, like this band that did the ending song for Jujutsu Kaisen season, for the second season, it has that vibe. Now that was for the highlight medley. Then they did a separate one for Do the Dance. It sounded like a dreamy tic tac. I'm not sure why, but maybe because of the verses, the sound bites that they were using, but it sounded like a dreamy tic tac. I'm not sure if maybe they did this separately because it's going to be their title track, but it sounded like a dreamy tic tac. So that is where I see the super real me influence mixing with the I Like You fast paced techno sound. Now, one thing's for sure, I think for this whole album, they go back to dreamy. They go back to the dreamy concept that they did in their first album, which for me I loved. I love Super Real Me. And I think I'm very excited for this, but I'm also holding my anticipation because I don't want myself to be disappointed. Also, for the video, it didn't have those very complicated sets. It's just basically the five girls in casual attire, in loose casual attire, riding bikes. But for the Do the Dance, they were still riding bikes, but then they were in more or less like in a school uniform. So I think it's coming. I think it's a real mix of. Basically, we're now seeing ILLIT forming their sound. They started with the dreamy concept with Super Real Me. They did the fast, energetic techno I Like You, and now with Bomb, they're putting it together. And hopefully, we can get to see their real sound because at this point, they're going into their third mini album. We do have the other fifth gen groups doing they're doing their comebacks like Eunice with So I See, and now they now know that they're good with the cute concept. We've got Meow with their new release, and they're coming in a little bit more with those Afro beats, right? They're trying to mold their sound. When we even have Isna, who's actually are now going into a more melodic, especially with Sign. They're getting into something more melodic, which I love, by the way. Isna is also one of my groups I really love. And now I think we're seeing ILLIT, since ILLIT is the only ones really with a concept that's built with the concept. We're really gonna see them like get into it, and I'm very excited. But again, I'm just making sure not to disappoint myself, but and not to be too excited on this. But I think bomb's gonna explode. Okay, that's a bit corny, but then again, I'm very excited for bomb.